Sometimes in life, no matter how much we pray, no matter how much we hope, and no matter how long we wait, things just don't go the way we want. In those moments, it feels as if the world has turned its back on us. Our hearts whisper, "Why me? Why now?" And hopelessness begins to creep in. But what if those very challenges we fear are not punishments, but steps in a plan far greater than anything we can imagine? Long ago, a mighty ship set sail on a long voyage. But in the middle of the sea, it was struck by a violent storm. The waves rose higher than mountains, the thunder roared like 1,000 drums, and the ship split apart, vanishing into the dark waters. Every soul on board drowned, except for one man. By the will of the Almighty, this man survived and, unconscious, was carried by the waves until he washed up on the shore of a deserted island. When he awoke, he looked around in shock. There was nothing but sand, trees, and an endless horizon of sea. Alone and helpless, he fell to his knees and prayed, "Oh, my Lord, please help me. Please send someone to save me." Hours passed, days passed, but no one came. Each night he searched the horizon for a ship, but the waters stayed empty. Slowly, his hope began to wither. Determined to survive, he gathered branches and built a small shelter. He plucked coconuts from the trees, fished in the shallow waters, and struggled each day just to stay alive. Weeks went by. His hands were bruised, his body thin, and his heart heavy with loneliness. Finally, after nearly 20 days, he built a proper hut, a fragile little home that gave him a small sense of comfort. But one day, when he returned from searching for coconuts, his heart nearly stopped. His hut, his only shelter, his only work of survival, was engulfed in flames. Smoke filled the sky. His food, his tools, his protection, all reduced to ash. He collapsed to the ground, tears streaming down his face. Looking up at the heavens, he cried, "Oh God, I begged for your help, but you never answered me. And now the only thing I had, you have taken from me. Why, Lord? Why are you so cruel?" That night he lay on the sand, weeping until sleep finally pulled him into silence. At dawn, he was startled awake by a sound unlike any he had heard since arriving on the island. Bells, voices, the sound of waves crashing against a ship. He sat up in disbelief, his eyes wide. There, not far from the shore, stood a large ship anchored by the island. He rushed into the water, waving his arms, shouting, sobbing with joy. When he climbed aboard, still trembling with relief, he asked the captain, "How did you know I was here? This island is so far from the routes of other ships." The captain looked at him with a smile and said, "We saw a signal fire. A huge column of smoke rose from this island. We knew immediately someone was stranded here, so we came to rescue you." The man froze. His knees weakened. The very fire that had destroyed his hut, the fire he thought was his greatest loss, was the signal that saved his life. In that moment, he understood. What he saw as disaster was in fact the Almighty's plan all along. With tears of gratitude, he bowed his head and whispered, "Forgive me, Lord, for doubting your wisdom." In our own lives, when things fall apart, we often feel abandoned. We lose patience, we complain, and we ask, "Why me?" But what we fail to see is that the same event that breaks our hearts might be the very thing leading us to something greater. The Almighty knows what we need, when we need it, and how we will receive it. Before he closes one door, he is already opening another. So the next time your plans collapse, remember the burning hut. What feels like destruction today might just be the fire that lights your path to rescue. Never lose hope.